Hey, Survivor. Welcome to episode 100 of the Vibrant Survivor podcast. Yes! In this episode, you'll learn 4 indicators that it's time to walk away from a narcissistic fight. But first, we'll self-regulate as usual with a 4-4-8 breathing exercise if you'd like, because we're all about voice and choice here. We'll inhale for 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 8. Ready? Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What sensations do you notice in your body? Grab your notebook and pen, and let's dig in. Hey, Survivor. Welcome to the Vibrant Survivor podcast. Do you want to disconnect from a narcissistic or toxic situation and heal? Are you Googling how to identify a narcissist, narcissistic abuse, and boundaries? Are you feeling stressed and lonely while trying to avoid being sucked back in and lied to again? Hey, I'm Lesley. As a busy wife and mom, I fell for the lies and manipulations of narcissists. I wasted my time, talents, and money on users who kept moving the goalposts. I wanted real relationships and business opportunities and to enjoy life with my family. Instead, I struggled with anxiety, panic attacks, and insomnia, and I couldn't trust my body or anybody until I took a holistic approach to healing. In this podcast, you'll find tips for healthy living, trauma healing, and boundaries so that you'll have the freedom, confidence, and inner peace to respond, not react, after narcissistic abuse. Take a deep breath in, let it out slowly, and just relax. This time's for you. The fear is real when it comes to processing your experience. I know you feel stressed and exhausted with a pit in your stomach at the thought of being sucked back in and lied to again. You feel like a horrible person for going no or low contact, like maybe I'm the narcissist. The fear, self-blaming, and shaming is something we all go through as survivors. I want you to understand that you're not alone and you're not crazy. Every person who's ever been in a narcissistic relationship has felt what you're feeling right now. If this resonates with you and you're like, I'm done with fear, I'm done playing small, I know who I am, and I am not the narcissist, I want you to say yes. Today's the day. I want you to go right now to closeyourcoachingsession.com and I want you to book your call because we're going to do this together. I'm going to hold your hand and we're going to overcome this fear so that you can begin a long-lasting journey of healing. Let's do this. Recently, I returned from a 1-week trip to my hometown for a couple school reunions, some family time, including celebrating my mom's birthday. And although I had a great trip overall, I had a very interesting experience with my accommodations. Basically, I got caught in the crossfire of a narcissistic relationship between the 2 hosts of my accommodations. And I got a phone call from a narcissistic individual trying to coldly and quickly force or lure me out of my accommodations the day before my scheduled departure. There was chaos, confusion, lots of pressure, smearing of the co-owner, and none of it made sense. And I could see what was happening, but when I was in it, like it was really chaotic, confusing, and dysregulating for me, to be honest with you. But I ended the phone call by offering to call back. And I was met with resistance, but I persisted in ending the phone call, and I was ultimately successful. And in doing so, I had reached out to my husband to let him know what was going on, get him to reach out to the, parent organization, and also just with some help securing new accommodations, because as I was listening to this drama and being told that I needed to get out, I'm looking around the unit at all my stuff and just feeling overwhelmed. And I was also being pressured to contact the leasing office before they came to remove me from the unit. And I did. And lo and behold, I found out that I was in an illegal accommodation. So Anyway, I let my mother know that I was running late and I modified our plans to salvage the day. And I also got a phone call from the second owner who had been contacted by the parent organization because my husband was complaining and, letting them know that something was going wrong and this, that, and the other. And the second owner was assuring me that, oh no, you're fine. You don't have to leave. This person's toxic. I've been trying to get away from them, yada, 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 yada. And so it got to the point, Survivor, where I had to just let the second owner know, look, I don't feel safe at this point. At one point during the conversation, when I got that phone call, I got really quiet inside the unit while I was being, bullied and kind of ordered to leave the unit. And I could actually hear the narcissist outside of the unit talking to me on the phone because it got echoey. You know what I mean? Anyway, that really flipped me out. So my safety was of high priority, and getting to a completely different place, getting my things together and leaving with my life and my stuff intact was my focus. So eventually the second owner did come by, and, I let them in and we talked further about what happened, compared some notes. And in the process, they offered to help me downstairs to leave and, get my things downstairs to the car and all that. And so I accepted that. I could sense that there was a lot going on there, and that there was, that they were really getting the short end of the stick in this situation. But in the process, I offered them some free game about narcissism and narcissistic abuse, and then I bolted. And I'll be honest with you, I was so upset. It was my mom's birthday. I was running late. My whole day was thrown off. I had dedicated this day to my mom. I was scrambling to salvage it. The whole situation was infuriating. And all I wanted was justice, exposure of the narcissist, a full refund, payment for damages, physical, psychological, like you name it, false advertising. I was so dysregulated. I'm not even going to lie. But I knew exactly what it was. I mean, even when I was talking to the second owner and trying to help them understand how this works, I read their business partner to filth and broke it down for them all kinds of different ways and told them, you need to call the police and you need to file a restraining order and change your number, by the way. But I will tell you, on a positive note, once I disconnected from that dysfunction, including any follow-up conversations, because mind you, while I was out to lunch with my mother, I received not one, but 2 more phone calls from the narcissist trying to get a hold of me. And of course, based on what we talk about here, what has happened to me, I knew exactly what that was about, and I ignored it. But I could see more clearly the uselessness of me further involving myself in the situation. The further I got away from it, like getting away from the unit, getting into that gorgeous suite, spending time with my mom, getting the bombardment of phone calls, the hoovering phone calls from the narcissist while I was out to lunch with my mom, even getting further away from it in terms of even returning home. It's like, you know what? We're done here. And being able to just put things into perspective, you know what I mean? Here are 4 indicators that it is time to walk away from a narcissistic fight. Number 1, the pain of the drain. Narcissistic and toxic relationships can affect your mental, physical, and spiritual health. And your pursuit of justice can amplify this. Why? Toxic stress from re-traumatization can put you at risk for things like depression, heart disease, diabetes, stroke, cancer, and more. And oftentimes we don't think about that because all we know is we want justice, we want justice. I wanted justice in my situation, but I could also feel in my body the way that it was making me anxious, the way that I was, checking my phone and getting hypervigilant, even as I was out doing fun things with my mom on her birthday. Ask yourself, survivor, what about this is sucking the life out of you or stressing you out? Is it trying to make follow-up calls to any and everyone who you think might listen or might have some kind of power or control or influence in the situation to help you? Is it just worrying about when the next call is coming through or what's going to happen next or all the different scenarios of how you might get further sucked into the narcissistic or toxic situation? Think about that, or just the frustration of people not listening, not calling you back, not being interested, or not taking it seriously. What about it is sucking the life out of you or stressing you out? Just saying. Number 2, the need to protect your peace. Emotional boundaries matter. It's not just about the physical distance, but emotional distance can work wonders in a narcissistic or toxic situation for you. Narcissists will take you on an emotional roller coaster ride. I just went on one, and it was not fun. They can demand unlimited refills of your energy if you let them. And you don't owe them anything. Like you don't. Your priority is your health and well-being. Your safety is part of that too. So ask yourself, how are you feeling right now? How can you let this battle go? What would it look like and feel like to choose peace over proving your point? How could you go low or no contact? Even in my situation, just to give you an example, like I could have pursued things further and really, kept at it with the parent organization, or, I probably could have and maybe even should have contacted the police. It was a crazy situation in that moment. But I also realized at the same time that the situation wasn't about me. It was between the two hosts, or co-owners of this unit. And the narcissist was trying to attack their co-owner. And I cannot confirm or deny the true nature of their relationship, but basically I was a casualty of war. So I ended up prioritizing getting the heck out of Dodge, removing myself from the situation, disconnecting, not just from the narcissist, but from everybody. Because I did try to reach out to the leasing office on a few occasions and was unsuccessful at that. And after a while, it just got to be tiring. It got to be draining. And I could feel that in my body. And just the frustration of not being able to get a hold of anyone. And I thought about it and I was like, you know what? What difference does it make what my side of the story is anyway? Because this isn't even about me. This is between two people who I barely know. I just need to get out with my life and my stuff intact and go on about my business, right? Number 3, tapping into the power of releasing. Survivor, are you grasping or are you releasing? Releasing your need for external justice gives you freedom and inner peace. Think about that for a second. This helps you to disconnect from the toxic person or environment, which can help you to see them for who and what they really are. That's what happened to me. So, end the phone call. Stop calling the leasing office, say in my situation. Do a cost-benefit analysis. What's it worth to keep pursuing this? What's it doing to you emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually, and otherwise? Assess your options and outcomes. Okay, if I do pursue this, or if you do pursue this in your situation, survivor, what are the potential outcomes? Is it worth it? Also, is whoever it is that stands to lose the most already suffering enough without the added bonus of whatever you would put on top of that with your actions, right? So I had to think about this too. Like, for example, because the Airbnb was illegal, oh God, I spilled the tea. Number 3, tapping into the power of releasing. Are you grasping or releasing, survivor? Releasing your need for external justice gives you freedom and inner peace. And that's priceless. It helps you to disconnect from the toxic person or environment, which can then help you to see them for who and what they really are and put things into perspective. So, end the phone call. Stop calling, say in my case, the leasing office. Do a cost-benefit analysis. What do you really stand to gain by continuing to hold on to the situation? Whatever your role is in it. Assess your options and outcomes. I had to do that. Like, okay, if I pursue this or try to take action, okay, what's the potential outcome there? The narcissist, it turns out, already had a criminal history of behavior in another state. And so is it really worth pursuing this? And especially when the fight is not necessarily my fight. It's not about me. It's between them, and I'm just a casualty of war. Think about those kinds of things. Also, are consequences already being suffered without you layering your 2 cents on top of it? I had to think about that too. At the end of the day, the illegal Airbnb was exposed. The second owner was out a lot of money already and was already having the headache of dealing with the parent organization, the leasing offices from not just my unit, but multiple locations where they had units. So there was already that. Plus, they still had to deal with the narcissist to some extent. And that's where the real fight was. And so I had to really be honest with myself about that. And then you're not necessarily condoning bad behavior when you release instead of grasp or hang on to a fight, but instead you're giving yourself the opportunity to make a quiet, calm exit without drawing ire from the narcissist. And that is one of the things that I do best. And so I did. Number 4, redirecting your energy toward growth and healing. Ask yourself, survivor, where and how are you channeling your energy? Re-traumatization can lead to doubling down in moments of conflict. And I experienced some of this too, like based on what's happened to me. I thought, oh, heck no, I've been here before. Like, you are not getting away with this. I know what this is. You can get riled up based on what has happened to you and then superimpose, or project that whole situation into the current situation and dredge all that up, which is re-traumatizing and re-triggering and toxically stressful. And that re-traumatization can lead you to double down in situations where it may make more sense to walk away. And I had to come to that realization as well. And it was a process, but I got there. Narcissists are fueled, as you know, by fights, and toxic stress is not serving you. So the less exposure you have, the better you're going to be long-term as far as your health and well-being is concerned. So instead of conflict, choose connection. I'm talking supportive friends and family, nature, healthy habits, and routines that will build you up and move the needle towards your goals and dreams in life. It's that level up that leaves the narcissist or toxic individuals in the dust while you go on to bigger and better things. So, like for me, really pouring myself into enjoying time with my mom and salvaging her birthday, and then going back to that luxury suite and that my husband had booked for me, and just enjoying all the amenities, enjoying a long shower and applying a nice facial mask, and just, settling into a comfy bed for a restful night's sleep, far away from the narcissistic drama. Priceless. And you can do it too. Let's recap 4 indicators that it's time to walk away from a narcissistic fight. Number 1, the pain of the drain. Number 2, the need to protect your peace. Number 3, tapping into the power of releasing. And number 4, redirecting your energy toward growth and healing. Remember, when facing a narcissistic fight, making sure you're all right is more important than being right. Thanks for tuning in. I hope this empowers you to find justice in your healing, growth, and peace. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. If this podcast has helped you understand who and what you're dealing with, sharpen your discernment, and move forward on your healing journey, share it with another survivor. Help me help others by leaving a review for the show. And let's connect on social. Take a screenshot, share it in your IG stories, find and tag me at The Vibrant Survivor, and I'll share your post too. I look forward to connecting with you on IG and seeing you back here. You're not alone, and you're not crazy. Know who you're dealing with, know who you are. Take care, and I'll meet you back here next week. Bye-bye.